Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to Fierce Women TV. I'm your host, Christina Aldon. I'm here interviewing Sandy Herrera today of Gut Core Values. Hi.
Hi.
So, we've been talking a little bit about what it means to be a fierce woman. We have, a lot of synergy with the work that I do with the Fierce Women Project, and, it's a mentorship project for young girls and young adults. So many synchronicities in what we do, and a lot of different overlaps. So we heard about your nonprofit, and I really want to talk about your consultancy now, because what you ended up doing, you made the pivot to do nonprofit work and then branch out into consultant work as well, and you've got a whole consultant group now that you've built. Gosh, it all kind of begins, I guess, in one of my favorite places in the tropics, in Bali.
In Bali,
right? In Bali.
Go figure.
Tell me about Bali.
I should probably back up with why Bali, right? So I met one of my mentors, Roger Hamilton, 10, 12 years ago when he was here in Las Vegas. And found his work with wealth dynamics and talent dynamics being a psychometric test that really helps you lean into your natural brain-wired strengths. And so through that, really kind of found my path of least resistance to my success. And then got into, had a dream to visit Bali, which is where he has his Vision Villas, which is where Entrepreneurs Institute is headquartered. And so I just had a dream someday I would go to Bali, and obviously why not Bali, right?
Why not?
And so it was
anywhere warm. I'm down.
I'm there. And so it was January 2015. I was going through a rough time in my life personally. I had also joined Alexia Vernon's Influencer Academy. It was like it's time for me to kind of level up my game and what I'm doing. And this was at a time when I was kind of launching Gut Core Values, and I was doing all these things, and everything was in its infancy stages.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that Alexia asked us to do was write, where did we see ourselves in 9 months once the program was done? And I was like, I'll book a trip to Bali for sometime in 2016.
Just one of those general kind of.
It was a general, like,
out there.
I'll throw it, throw some spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, we're going to Disney World. Yeah.
Someday I'll get there. And within, I don't even think it was 24 hours. I think it was literally like before I hit send to send that to Alexia, I get an email from another friend of ours, Jessica Tomlinson.
Oh, yeah.
And she was putting a retreat together going to Bali. And I was like, were you watching me when Did you see what
Sometimes it can manifest almost instantly. Like
it was instant manifestation.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And I wrote her back and I said, stop watching me, but yes, I'm in. I didn't know when it was. I didn't know how much it was. I was like, okay, if it's going to show up on your doorstep that easily, follow the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And so that April, I went to Bali with her for the 9-day Women's Radiance Recharge Retreat. And while I was planning the trip and booking flights, I decided to reach out to Roger Hamilton and said, hey, I'm going to be in Bali, would love to grab coffee, see Vision Villas, even if it's just for a day, whatever. And he put me in touch with Simone, who's in charge of Vision Villas, and she said, we actually have one of our very first performance consultant trainings going on. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but sure. And again, knew nothing, just jumped in with both feet. So that was a 5-day training that followed on my 9 days.
Now you're 2 weeks
now I'm
in Bali.
2 weeks in Bali. It was like, I'm there.
It must have been torture,
It was
darling.
torture.
It must have been.
It was the most amazing, transformative 2 weeks of my life.
Yeah.
Not only with kind of tapping into my femininity and my power as a woman, and learning so much from Jess and her coaching, and the other amazing, my Bali sisters, and then going into this 5-day intensive training that really transformed my work with our schools. And then fast forward to Entrepreneurs Institute launching the Genius School. And so I went back this past November to be one of the first founding Genius educators for the Genius School. And we are creating these camps that will be Genius camps for teenagers. And so we're launching them all over the world, and they're going to happen in April.
Nice.
So I'm the one launching them here in the US. We've got them launching in New Zealand, Australia, London, and Spain.
Excellent.
So super excited about those happening. And then I think it was in September, October timeframe, Roger had put out an award for a Women's Global Impact Award.
Okay.
And so I applied, put in, what I was doing in the world, and just kind of threw it out there. had the thought like, yeah, this would be cool if I won this. And but then I didn't think about it. Come to find out, I actually won.
Oh.
I won the Women's Global Leadership Impact Award across he has a database of over 2 million entrepreneurs.
That's
and
amazing.
so
Congratulations.
thank you. The first prize was 2 weeks in Bali at
Yeah.
Vision Villas for his iLab program, which is a business accelerator program for entrepreneurs.
Wow.
And
That's
so
huge.
that's where I was in January for 2 weeks.
That's huge.
And-
So you got a 2-week accelerator,
Yes.
all expense paid, like everything, all the training from the top leaders and
Top entrepreneurs in the
instructors.
world.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And I learned more in those 2 weeks than I learned getting my business degree.
Did you even sleep? I would
I
probably just
barely.
be like, I'm exhausted. I don't care.
Yeah,
I just
it
want to
was-
absorb by osmosis. I
my
can't take any more in. I'm just going to be near you, brilliant people.
There was
Like, I
so
don't-
much, so many amazing, and I was there with just other amazing entrepreneurs from around the globe.
Yeah.
And we're still working together. I actually had a call. There's 4 of us that have a call every Monday morning, 6:30 a.m. my time, because that's reasonable hours across continents.
Sure.
And the 4 of us just keep each other on track about what we're doing and how we're driving our businesses forward.
What an
and
amazing opportunity
so,
that is to
yeah.
grow, to evolve, and to really, again, to level up.
right.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's terrific. Now, with you have the Genius Camps that you're launching in the U.S. How does that work? Then, is that a train the trainer type thing? Are you looking for trainers, educators? How does that work?
I am. I have a call this afternoon for anyone who's interested in helping me put on these first couple of pilot camps. And so I've got a tribe coming together and trying to put the right team in place to really be able to execute these camps well for the students. I'm great at coaching adults. Not that I
Yes.
can't work with kids, but teachers are usually better at working with teenagers
Yeah.
than I am.
Yeah.
So kind of bringing us all together and co-creating these camps with our global partners is
Excellent.
kind of
that's
where we're
great.
at. And
no,
so
that's great.
then beyond April, we'll be tapping other people who want to become certified genius educators to get them certified and then teach them how to run these camps on their own so that we can have these camps where we're tapping into that entrepreneurial spirit, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness of our kids.
That's great. Yeah, we definitely need that for our
I'm super
kids.
excited.
Now, I know also you work with adults one-on-one as well. You do mentorship kind of stuff around entrepreneurship. I don't know how that works exactly. I do customized mentorship programs, and I know what it looks like for me. What does it look like if somebody wants to work with you one-on-one?
So the majority of the people that I work with one-on-one are educators, and they're education leaders. And so I work with them and really look at them in terms of their whole life.
Okay.
So they do have an entrepreneurial spirit to them. They usually just don't realize it because when your working life has been in education, you really don't think of yourself as an entrepreneur. But there's a lot of skill sets that
They're
translate.
resourceful, right?
They're so resourceful.
You're doing so much with few resources.
They're so passionate and
yeah.
driven and purpose driven in life, and and often they don't get the opportunity to take a step back and really design their life with intention. And I always talk about it, create your life on purpose, and therefore then you can create your culture on purpose.
Life on purpose.
And so working with these school leaders and school executives one-on-one and really helping them kind of co-create not only their life on a holistic level, but also we tap into what they can do within their schools.
Now that kind of actually limits the amount of time if it's a one-on-one thing. For me, I have a very structured program, and I usually only mentor about 6 to 8 people at a time, and I'm really looking for people who are superstars. I kind of take the Bruce Lee model, where it's like I just want the champions who are going to show up, and that's where I'm going to get the best results, where they're going to get the best results. And I have some amazing mentees that are just lighting it on fire out there. But for you, it kind of limits your time. You're doing all of these other things. How many mentees do you take on at any given time?
So I actually, because because of the way that I structure my program and the accountability and the touch points that I have, I can take on 10.
Okay.
So
All right.
I do want those strong leaders. I do want people who are actually going to show up. And we do, 90-day challenges. Like, we're in this together for 90 days. We're going to hit this goal. We're going to do the next 90 days. And then we kind of customize what it is that you want to achieve and work towards.
Got it. Okay, good. So if anybody knows a superstar educator who's looking to up their game, send them Sandy's way. Some other things that you have going on, I know, because again, you can only be in one place, one-on-one.
Right.
You're doing a mastermind.
I am.
So,
I'm just getting ready to launch my mastermind, and so I'm rebranding my for-profit LLC to be Educator Dynamics.
So it's educatordynamics.com.
And this mastermind is really an opportunity for administrators of schools across the globe to come together and collaborate with my guided mentorship and coaching. And so I'll put 20 people, 20 school leaders, dynamic school leaders, on into a tribe together, and they will have access to each other. They'll have access to my coaching once a month. They can text me, they can email me, and we'll really kind of co-create. And it's really that entry level point of you're really taking responsibility for your success with this tribe of other dynamic leaders that I'm connecting you with, as well as my coaching for all of you at the same time. So it's more of that group model, which makes it really cost effective.
And also, cost effective too.
Yes.
Right. So it's cost effective. It helps you with your time, because you can only be in one place at a time, and that one-on-one stuff can be a lot sometimes. And then also it's global. So yay technology. How does that work? Are you using Zoom for that again?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm using Zoom. I'm a Zoom fan.
Yeah, I love Zoom. I do everything with Zoom.
Big fan. And so it allows our school leaders to learn from each other, and also to realize one of the biggest ahas for them is they're not alone. That other school leaders,
your
because
frustration, your thing that you're banging your head against the wall,
someone else maybe had that last week, or they overcame it last year, and it's
you
like,
can
you know what,
mentor
on
each
the other
other.
side it's okay.
Yeah, and you feel heard, and you feel like you're not alone, and you're out there scrambling.
It's the power of a tribe, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. And the cool part about it then also is you're taking your experience from your nonprofit and helping them, going into that. You're taking your experience with your emotional intelligence training and going into that. You're taking your experience with those other 30 schools and other schools around the country, and you're able to bring that to the table as well. I love that. No, that's fantastic. Sandy, what is next? I mean, I know you have your mastermind coming up. You're going to continue with your mentorship. We've got those awards coming. Are you building other things? Is this where it's going to land for a while?
I'm building a team is what I'm building.
Good. Okay, good. Okay, good.
This was one of my biggest takeaways from the iLab training experience, is really learning how to leverage others best. And it's something that I teach and I know how to do, but really getting some of those tactical skills when you're trying to make a difference on so many fronts, and how you can actually
Sometimes
leverage it.
Sometimes it feels like you're just turning to put out fires. You're
I
turning
need a
to
mentor
check
just
box.
as well as I believe someone else does.
Yeah.
We all need it. We're stronger together.
Absolutely. And I don't take advice from people who don't do their own work anyway, right? Because somebody, I say a woman who understands her own demons is much more equipped to help me with mine.
Right. Absolutely.
So being able to surround yourself with a tribe of people that are supporters and in all different kinds of ways. And I take mentorship from people of different walks of life. I mean, it doesn't have to be, I'm sure you've had, I mean, Alexia Vernon is someone who coaches on speaking, not on education or the school system, right? What other mentors have you had, like from different industries who've helped shape your programming and shaped all your training and shaped your work?
Yeah, so many. Jennifer and David Goss, I'm sure you're well connected with them as well. They're in technology. Yeah. And, they have been huge mentors. Dennis Bonilla, University of Phoenix. Bart Patterson, Nevada State College.
Terrific.
Bart is the president of my board.
Oh, excellent,
Melissa Blinn is a very good friend of mine. She's the executive director for Create a Change Now. Shannon Ray, she's got her own businesses. It was one year I was kind of thinking through really what I needed and what it was. And I believe this was in 2014 that it would make sense, because in 2015 it kind of all manifested when I said I really need to be surrounded by other strong females who I can connect with and be mentored by. And I have this amazing circle of sisters who are all making a difference, and it's
some of the best advice I ever got was from a good friend of mine, Jessica Oliver Watkins. She said, I remember just starting out in my business going, oh, what am I doing? I don't know if this is right. I don't know. And she said, well, you know, you need to bring people on and bring people into your team who are strong where you're challenged. It's very simple, and it sounds very simple, but to go and ask for help, you know, there were all these different levels of pride, and there were all these different levels of ego and things. So, but once I started doing that, and once I started going into, gosh, I really can't do it all. I'm good at what I'm good at. I need some help. I need some mentors for this, like you said, for technology, for different things. It really kind of helps it. It's a little scary at first, but once you delegate and you hand it off and you have trusted people, that I just know the work's going to get done. I just know it's going to happen. So,
and I've actually started shifting that word for myself in the last couple of weeks, because the word delegate sometimes has a negative connotation to it. So I've started reframing that word for myself and saying I'm just leveraging.
Oh, you're leveraging.
I'm leveraging other people's strengths.
Other strengths.
Because when you're good at it, then it's easy for you. And
I have a Bring Your Strength program, which is more of a corporate training thing, and it's about, you know, strong men and strong women bringing their strengths to the table, and really it can be applied to anything. We talk about gender initially right now as we're a startup and we're focusing on one little market, but really, you know, when we're talking about neurodiversity, when we're talking about any of that stuff, socioeconomic diversity, talents and skills across different industries, across different ages and experience, all that stuff is really important to bring in to your tribe and kind of get a new perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we have our confirmation bias. We have our views.
We absolutely do. And really understanding that just because someone is thinking the opposite of you, you can obviously seem, you know, go down the path of making up a story that they're just being negative. When in reality, that's the lens that they look at the world through, and it's actually from maybe a risk management perspective. Maybe they see icebergs that maybe we can't see, and sometimes if it just takes effective communication to really be able to hear what is the root behind what they're talking about.
That's the hard part. That's the tricky part. The
is.
effective communication, the nonviolent communication, the emotional intelligence, the self-awareness. I teach a course about conflict that I had developed with Nancy Gabriel from Mediation Around the Table, and she talks about how the biggest part of it, the biggest step, is preparation. Sitting down with yourself. What are my non-negotiables? What am I bringing to the table? How am I contributing? That's really, really important, and that's the tough work, I think.
And I talk about designing a team alliance, which is the same thing, and really having those crucial conversations, but setting yourself up for success by saying, what's going to make us flourish during our time together? How do we want to be? Who do we want to show up as when it gets difficult? And what do we need from each other?
And what do we need from
And
each
are we
other?
going to ask for these things if they're not happening, and celebrate when they are?
And celebrate when they are. I think that sometimes people, it's easy to say, I didn't get what I wanted. Oh, I'm keeping my mouth shut because I don't want to upset you. I don't want to deal with your drama. And I'm like sitting here going, wait a minute, it takes two people to communicate and two people to have a conversation. So if there's drama, it's not just the other person's drama.
No.
How are you contributing? Are you working with it? Or you may choose to not work with it, but it's still your choice.
And I love Brene Brown's work on, the story I'm making up in my head.
Oh, the story I'm making up in my head. I reference her a lot when I talk about forgiveness, when I talk about guilt, shame. She does a lot of great work around that.
She does.
Excellent.
She's phenomenal, and she's had a big influence, and I use her Anatomy of Trust actually in a few of my workshops, really building and growing trust, hence the Trusted School Awards, and Everything kind of coming full circle. There was something else you said that I wanted to kind of make note of, and in terms of how we each show up each day.
Oh, yeah.
And understanding that your culture in any organization, regardless of what it is the collective capacity of who we all show up as. And so really learning to pay attention to who you're showing up as and the energy that you bring to the table in any interaction that you're having. Because when you can start each day with intention and with gratitude, then it really makes a difference on
well, we all
everyone
know
around
how
you.
that is, right? Somebody, a strong, aggressive personality can walk into the conference room and sit down and go, oh, here we go, let's have this meeting. And then everybody else, it's very, I mean, you can see it. People will fall right in and go, oh, yeah, here we go. Here's a meeting. Here's this. Oh, I know, I don't want to be blah, blah. And it kind of opens the floodgates. Or you can have somebody who has strong energy or assertive or aggressive, whatever you want to say, a very yang energy, if you're talking about yin and yang, come in and go, wow, this is going to be an interesting meeting. I'm wondering what's going to happen. I'm curious to hear your point on this. We've talked about this before, and I want more details and clarity. This is going to be a great meeting, and it can really set the tone. You don't have to be a manager or an owner to be a leader, and you can lead from within a group, from within a team, just in how you show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love it. Sandy, this has been great.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad that we get to spend a lengthy amount of time really getting into your work, and I wish you all the best. I know that you're going to have some really cool things coming out of that mastermind. I look forward to the awards that you have for the Trusted School Awards as well. Thank you so much. If you want to tune in, you can learn more at FierceWomenOnline.com if you want to learn more about the Fierce Women Project. And then, of course, if you want to contact Sandy, you can go to sandyherrera.com. She also has gotcorevalues.com if you're interested in nominating schools or in partnering with her. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.